I'm back, as I promised. And here we are talking about the writing section. So obviously there's a lot of conversation about college essays. I will post a whole bunch of resources about essays, how to get started, how to brainstorm, how many phases there are in the writing process. I'll just give you the spoiler alert to that right now. You are not writing your final draft at the beginning. You are writing a draft. You are starting with brainstorming. Then you're going to draft. Don't worry about your grammar. Don't worry about the word count right away. That is not the first thing that you want to worry about. I always say to my students, if you can promise me that the first 650 words that come off your fingers are the best, then we can worry about word count at the beginning. But if not, write 1,000 words, write 1,200, write 1,500 words, and then cut it back as you go through the editing process. But let me just show you the writing section of the Common App. It's super not intimidating. I actually really want you to not be intimidated by this. So there's only two little sections here. The first is your personal essay, or sometimes we call it the personal statement. It's personal. It's really important that you share about yourself. And it's actually really important that you not rehash your resume here. This is not an opportunity to do that. We reported all of our activities in the activities section. I'm going to give you a spot. If you have an activity that is really big and overwhelming and has taken up so much of your time that you cannot describe it in 150 characters, I'm going to show you where to put that information, but that's not what you want to put in your essay. Your essay really needs to give them a little bit of you. Again, your values, like who you are as a human being, because colleges are making decisions about whom to add to their community. And actually, I'm gonna do a little. I'm gonna interrupt myself. Are you ready for that? So I'm gonna change my share for a second. We always tell our students that the goal of your college essays, and really anything that you write for colleges, the goal is for you to be memorable and likable. Why? Because colleges invite people to join a community. And in order to invite you to join their community, they have to remember you. You have to give them something that's memorable about yourself. And that means you have to stand out. You have to be different from everybody else applying to college this year. And the way to do that is to tell stories about your life. That's what makes your experience going through high school, doing the classes that you've done, participating in Model UN, all of those experiences. Many students all do those same things, but your stories, your experience is different. And that's what you really have to pick up. That's what makes you memorable. You want them to put your essay down and go, wow, that's the kid who wore two left shoes to school one day. Right? Memorable and likable. If you are those things, you will get yourself invited into a college community. All right, so I'm going to switch back. Switching back. Just remember that, memorable and likable. So I'm switching back to the writing section. And here we are in the personal essay. Once you've started putting colleges onto your list, and I'll show you how to do that in another video that's coming up. But once you've started putting colleges on your list, this section will start populating, and it will tell you these are the colleges that require a personal essay. These are the colleges that don't require a personal essay. Now, the colleges that don't require a personal essay might also have supplements, right? So Virginia Tech is a great example. No personal essay required, but they have supplements. So they do want to see your writing. They do want to hear from you, but they have some specific questions that they have for you that you have to answer. There are definitely colleges where they don't require a personal essay. And actually, you can search for them in the Common App. You can search for colleges that do not require a personal essay if essays are not really your jam. Okay, so we're going to scroll down. It's going to show us the 7 prompts. It may change. You may be watching this in a future year and they may change, but I'm going to tell you a little secret. There are very few essays, I'm going to say none, that don't respond to one of these prompts in one way. So I actually like to start writing with my students before we ever look at the prompts. I like to have the essay done, and then let's think about which of the prompts does this really respond to, because I think it would be nearly impossible for you to write an essay that doesn't respond to one of these prompts in some way. And guess what? Do you see this last one? Share an essay on any topic of your choice. So basically, I'm proving my point here. There is literally nothing you can write that wouldn't be able to respond to one of these prompts. And I've seen essays where we can pick 2 or 3 of the prompts and it would easily respond to them. So once you've done your writing and you've gone through all of your writing process, it's not a one-time thing. You're going to figure out which prompt it responds to, and you're going to click on it, and then you're going to start you're going to drop your essay into the box. I strongly, strongly recommend that you write your essay separately, like I do it in Google Docs, where you can edit it. So you can write lots and lots, and then you can edit it down to 650 words. I also want to just warn you that sometimes Google Docs counts words, or Word counts words a little differently than the Common App. So I'm pretty sure we had this down to 650 in the document, and we dropped it in here. We cut and pasted it in, and it's 654. So we need to cut 4 words. It's not a big deal. I also want to give you a quick warning that if you if you copy and paste something from a Google Doc into this box, it often will pop in bold. I can't tell you why, but it's going to kind of show up looking like this, which is a little, it's a little alarming to the reader. So I want to make sure that you unbold everything. Just like we did at the activities section, there's a preview button up here, and you can preview what it looks like. Oh, here's the other thing I want to tell you. Do you see how there's these nice, like, sort of half spaces in between the paragraphs? Look, this is crazy. There's no spaces in between the paragraphs. Oh my gosh. So you can you should remove the spaces from your paragraphs. The Common App will actually enter spaces to like space out the paragraphs to make it a little bit easier for your reader to read. So look how nicely spaced all of these paragraphs are. The other thing you'll notice is it's not a 5-paragraph essay. This is a very different essay than you write for your English class, okay? And I want you to just be aware of that. And I've got a couple articles on that as well. And the reason it's different than what you're writing for your English class is because it's personal, because it's about you. And I recognize that for 12 years that you've been in school, we've been telling you, don't use I, don't use me, don't give us an opinion, don't write about yourself. Guess what? Throw all that advice out the window, because right now, this is your college essay. It has to be about you. That's what's going to make it memorable and likable, is if it's personal, if it's about you. So I know you've gotten tons of advice already about college essays, so I won't add on top of it. But this is where you put your essay. Once you hit continue, it takes you to the additional information section. I'm actually wondering why this didn't give me a green check. Oh, it's because I'm over on the word count. That's why. Okay, so the additional information section has 2 questions. And the first question is, they want to know if you have any other challenges or circumstances that you want to share. It could be, you could see, it could be massive, right? It could be like, I live in my town, we had a huge, massive fire 6 months ago. So everyone who's applying literally lived through a humongous natural disaster this year. It could be huge like that. It could also be something a little smaller, but something that affects your everyday life, right? That you don't have steady internet at your house, or your house isn't quiet, right? Like, I've worked with kids who have a sibling who has learning challenges, and the house was just really loud all the time. It's just how the house was. And so she had to find safe and quiet places to study that weren't at her house. That's the kind of context that the colleges want to hear about as they're reading your application, because they will remember that that all the things you've done, all the activities you've done, and all of your performance in school has been done despite the challenges that you have faced. So this is your place to, and if you say yes, a box will pop up, and they give you 250 words. It's not a whole essay. It's just, call it 6 sentences, right? But it gives you just a little bit of space to talk about these challenges or circumstances. And then the other question is a little more open-ended. Would you like to share any additional details or qualifications not reflected in your application? If you have, same thing, if you say yes, the box will pop up. If you have an activity where you have been so incredibly involved in it that it is literally impossible for you to describe it in 150 characters, this would be where I would put it. It is not a place, it's only 300 words. It's not a place where you would write a whole separate essay. They are not happy about that. So don't consider it that at all. But if you have something you'd like to share, if you did research, for example, if you had an internship, any kind of activities like that, this would be the place where you would put it. So I sort of see the first question as these are the challenges that I've experienced. And the second question as here's a little thing that I want to share with you that I just haven't been able to share in any other place in the application. It's a little bit of a brag opportunity. And I know you guys are really nervous about bragging, but it's okay to brag. We don't want you to be jerky about it. And so, hopefully you'll ask for some help and you'll ask someone to read your information just to make sure it has the right tone. But this is definitely an opportunity to give them just that little extra information about you. So that's the writing section, and I'll be back in a minute with courses and grades.